Are you looking to buy a car from Carmax? If so, you need to watch this video. So today, our vehicle, we just bought a Yukon from Carmax. We really just bought it from them because there was nothing around in our area in New England. And they have the ability, when you search on their website, to show you a bunch of vehicles throughout their network around the country, and all the prices and options that you want. They kind of give you the biggest selection for the vehicle you might be looking for. So we did that, and we're looking for a Yukon with the bucket seats, the black leather, and the double DVD screens, which was pretty specific. And there's so many different models, and it can get frustrating looking on all these different car websites for this car. So Carmax had the one we wanted. It was down in, I think, Virginia. So Carmax says they can ship it up here for $150. It's a deal. That's one we want. Let's get it up here. So this vehicle being used, we got pre-qualified on the loan. It was about 4.5%, which I was totally good with, especially it being 5 years old. So we paid $150, and they said it is on the way to your Carmax, which is about 40 minutes away from where we live. Thought it would be perfect. So then we started. This whole thing was kind of a quick thing. I wrecked my truck, and at that point we decided we were gonna get rid of the Durango also, so I traded our Durango in for a new truck. So at that point we only had one car. I had to go work far away, and the wife was stranded with no second vehicle. I know this is something I caused by trading in the car early, but we did that, and we expected the vehicle to be shipped faster. They say up to 14 days, and it took 14 days. I think it got there in 14 days. Then they had to inspect it after. So it's definitely gonna take longer than what they say. So that whole thing being said, after it came in the next day, they were able to prioritize getting the vehicle ready for us to come look at. So I got off work early the next day, and we came down here, and they had about 2 hours to closing from when we got there. So they checked us in, cool, sweet deal. We sat down for about a half an hour in the lobby, and then somebody finally came up to us and asked, "Are you being helped?" And we're like, "Yeah, we're checked in." So, you know, it's kind of ridiculous that you're checked in. What does that even mean if you're sitting there for a half an hour? I think it has to do with Carmax. They don't go on commission. I assume they split, you know, the fees. There's like a $300 dealer fee, and obviously they make money off the cars. So I'm assuming they split all that. So nobody's really motivated to go around and sell a car. Somebody finally gets us in, and we test drive the car, and they ask us, "Do you want to try to buy this today?" No, I drove down here so I could look at the car and not buy it. What do you think I come to a car dealership for? So this associate asked us who's gonna be the primary driver. I tell him Kathleen's gonna be the primary driver, my wife. And he says, "Okay, and you were on the loan?" I said, "No, I'm the only one on the loan because I'm the only one with the income." So then he says, "Well, that's a crime. That's called a straw purchase." Let me tell you, a straw purchase is not you buying a car for your wife so your kids can ride in your car. A straw purchase is where you're buying a car for somebody else, a friend, Jim, some person you know, and you have zero intention on paying for it. It's just saying, I would buy the car and then give it to my neighbor, and he's just gonna pay it, and I'm not gonna worry about it at all. It's not a straw purchase. It was a completely idiotic statement, and to claim that I, you know, am committing a crime to try to buy my wife a car without her on the financing is ridiculous. And I did let the manager know that that was ridiculous. So, you know, to entertain it, we sat down with them and we reapplied so we wouldn't commit a crime. And then when they ran at that time, my vehicle, my Ram that I just bought, had popped up on our thing. At the time we didn't know, had popped up on my credit report. So it looked like we had a bunch of vehicles. And then they wanted to tell us Carmax was the only one that would finance us with a 14% interest rate. You're out of your mind if you're buying a car with a 14% interest rate. That is ridiculous. So we just walked, and I told them, "Yeah, hold it." Like, "Oh, you want us to hold it?" "No shit, Sherlock. I paid $150 to get this vehicle here. I want you to hold it." The financing isn't the fault of the employees working there. I don't think there's any in-house financing at the facilities. They just click through a system on their computers, and I think it goes to a centrally located finance office or something, and that's just what I came up with. So next day we spoke with the finance for Carmax, and they explained to us they ran it again. They told us we get an 8%, and then they said, you know, the original bank that wanted to loan us the money, Chase, told us they could do the 5%, but they needed a vehicle trade-in. And we're like, what are you talking about? We only have one vehicle, the brand new one we just bought. So on the credit report, since I just wrecked out my truck and I just traded in the Durango, it was showing that we had the Ram, the Durango, and the brand new Ram I just bought. So it showed we had 3 vehicles with car payments. They wanted us to trade it in. So we were able to establish with the bank and through help of Carmax's finance office that we didn't have a car to trade in and we didn't have a bunch of cars on our credit report. So they were able to finance us over the phone. This whole crazy COVID thing, they promised that we would do, you know, curbside delivery. Everything was done, all the paperwork was done. I just had to go in, I had to pull in. They said 15 minutes, you'll be in, you'll be out, you sign the paperwork, and then you get your car and leave. Way to interrupt, freaking jet. So we show up at the curbside at our specified delivery time, and we wait 45 minutes for them to come outside with the paperwork. They ask us if we want to test drive the car. No, we already test drove the car. We're already financed. We want to sign the paperwork and leave. So we finally sign the paperwork and we get the heck out of there. You know, everything's all good. Finally done with this whole transaction that has been painstaking, and we're glad to have it over with. So the next day, was the next day or 2 days, they call us and say, oh, you forgot to sign something on the back of the paperwork. We need you to come back. It's a 40-minute drive, so, you know, there and back, I'm already burning it. They said we can fill your gas tank, full gas tank, cool. 25 gallons of gas at $2. So, you know, not to mention my time and everything. So we went back and signed it, and then we sent them a receipt and they paid for a gas tank. Okay, thought is over? No, it's not over. Now, Carmax does have a warranty. I think it's 3 months, 4,000 miles, something like that. Don't hold me to it, but it's something like that. And we did have issues with the vehicle locks, and then there was a connector for the defroster on the back window, and they did fix those. But we had to come in, and when you come into Carmax and you go to the service desk, I think they're understaffed or something at the service desk, so there's not really anybody ever there. And then the people that's supposed to sell the cars just sit at the desk and let you stand there like an idiot for an extended period of time. You have to go ask somebody to check you in for your service appointment, which is kind of ridiculous. Don't you have a service desk? You should have a service person, right? Like any other dealer. But it seems like here it's a minimal manning operation. So needless to say, I'm back again for a service appointment, and they ask you not to stay in there. You can, but they ask you to leave. So I'll just go to Harbor Freight, wander around, look at stupid stuff for a while. But the gist of it is, if you can find the car you want somewhere else at the same or comparable price, you might as well do it instead of coming to this shopping experience and trying to deal with this. Just annoying, the whole process, and I'm kind of over it. If this review helps you out at all, could you please drop down below, help support our channel, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Let me know down in the comment section, am I just complaining, or is this kind of a weird buying experience?